Hey, welcome back to the Boundaries Unleashed podcast I'm your host, Vicky, your favorite no BS boundaries coach for bold, brilliant women who are done with over-functioning, over-explaining, and over-apologizing. Especially when it comes to the people in your life who really know how to push your buttons. If you're new here, first, welcome. And if you're back for season 2, thank you. I'm so glad you're here because today's episode is all about how to create boundaries that actually stick, even with the hard to handle, emotionally tender, and just plain exhausting people in your life. So I already know that you're already thinking of that person. So whether it's your mother-in-law, whether it's your needy coworker, or that one friend who thinks boundaries means you hate them now. Okay, we're going to be covering what to do and what to stop doing, starting right now. So grab your journal, your tarot deck if you're feeling a little witchy, and let's dive in. Let's start with the big boundary setting blunder that most people make, especially my recovering people pleasers out there. You ready? The number one mistake in setting boundaries is setting boundaries from confusion. Yep, not clarity, not conviction, just pure, I can't take this anymore, chaos energy. You're just wanting the pain to stop. And, you've been there, right? I've been there where you're in this energy of just, you're so fed up that you just blurt something out like, I'm not doing this anymore. And what tends to happen is you tend to backslide maybe a few days later because deep down, you didn't actually know what you needed. You just wanted the discomfort to stop and go away. And then what happens, right? When you do this, people stop taking you seriously. They get confused, or worse, they think that, that opening to maybe keep testing your boundaries, right? Maybe what you said is not what you actually mean, or maybe that no is negotiable. But here's the truth. When you're setting boundaries, if you're setting boundaries without knowing what your actual needs are, it's like drawing lines in the sand during high tide. The waves are going to come in and poof, bye-bye, those boundaries. And if you're from a beach town, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's just nothing is set. They're negotiable. And why does this happen? It happens because you haven't really stepped into your deep personal work. You're disconnected from your intuition, you're unclear on your values, and you're possibly reliving old trauma patterns. Now, this is common, so, it's not unique to you. This is something I see all the time with my coaching clients and even at times recognized in myself. So if you're doing this, this is normal, but not ideal. And girl, and I say this with love, you can sage your house and you can pull all the oracle cards you want, but if you're not grounded in who you are and what you need, your boundaries will crumble every time someone raises an eyebrow, right? They're going to question everything you say if you're not coming from a grounded energy. So let's talk about what it looks like to create boundaries that actually stick. The kind that have staying power, even with people who don't like change and really don't like you changing. And I think that's the bigger key takeaway here is they're used to you a certain way and all of a sudden you're acting different or you are different. So here's your new mantra, if this is you. My boundary is about me, not about you. All right, I'll say that again. My boundary is about me, it's not about you. That's your new mantra moving forward, my friend. Let that sink in. When you communicate boundaries, I want you to start using I statements like, I'm not available for calls after 7 o'clock. I need uninterrupted time during the first hour of my workday. I'm prioritizing rest this weekend, so I won't be coming to the group brunch. So do you hear these I statements, right? It's about you, not about them. There's no blaming, there's no shaming, it's just truth, and it's your truth. Okay. And, and here's the kicker. You've got to repeat your boundary and stay consistent. That's the key there, okay? Not just once, not just when Mercury's in retrograde, right? Every time. Because consistency teaches people you mean what you say, and you don't need to over explain, because when we do that, that just gives people an invitation to kind of poke holes in our decision, right? And this is very common with people pleasers who don't like to say no. When we do say no, we feel like we have to give all the reasons why, and you don't. You don't have to explain. You just have to tell your truth. And another reminder here is that other people's feelings, they're going to have feelings about what you say, about your boundaries. They're not our responsibility. They're not your responsibility. And I know that one stings, right? We don't like to be the bad guy. So give them space, let them feel what they need to feel. Your job isn't to manage their discomfort. Your job is to stay aligned with your values, your energy, and your personal peace. And one more thing, this is probably the hardest one to swallow, in my opinion, is be prepared that not everyone is going to like your boundary, okay? Some relationships might shift. Some might even end. And as hard as that can be, it can also be freeing. And I know this personally, because anything built on betrayal, especially betraying yourself, isn't sustainable anyway. So any relationship or any partnership that you're in that is not built on full trust and full authenticity, it's not sustainable. All right, so if that wasn't juicy enough, what happens? What do we do when people push back? Okay, you've given the boundary and someone's like, girlfriend, you can hold yourself right there. Because let's be real, that's going to happen. Okay, we don't live in a la la land where everything goes our way. Some people have opinions and they're honored to have their own opinions. Not everyone's going to say, oh, wow, thanks for this beautifully crafted boundary. It just doesn't happen like that. I mean, it might. I don't know the crowd you're hanging with, but this doesn't always happen, okay? So here's your game plan for when you receive that pushback. Step one, you really want to lead with empathy. It's about you, not about them. So when they have a response, you want to lead with empathy. You want to validate their experience without backpedaling. You're not giving up your boundary. You're not giving up your ground. You're just recognizing theirs. So it would come out something like this. I can see this is hard for you to hear. I understand this might feel unexpected. That's validating that they weren't expecting what you were about to say. So that's step one, lead with empathy. Step two is maybe you want to ask clarifying questions. Sometimes pushback comes from confusion, like they don't understand. So ask them to get clear on what they're confused about. So that would sound like, help me understand what's coming up for you right now. What part feels unclear or surprising? You may have just dropped this huge bomb with multiple parts, but only one part is confusing, or the one part doesn't sit right with them. Ask them, get clarity, ask the clarifying questions. Step three is to create pause, or rather create a pause. You don't have to solve everything in one conversation, in one combo, right? You can say, I see I brought up a lot, or this is bringing up a lot for you. Let's take a break and revisit once we both had time to reflect. And I always like to have an agreed upon reconnection time, whether it be let's connect after lunch today, let's connect at a phone call at whatever time, let's connect by Friday. If I don't hear from you tomorrow, expect an email from me. But there's some sort of reconnection period after time of reflection, after creating this pause for people to process what they just heard. And when we do this, it allows integrity and respect on both sides. So it's important that pause is important for both of you. And then the final step in this plan of pushback, if you will, is step 4, which is to reaffirm your boundary and problem solve together. And this may sound like, this boundary is important to me and I want both of us to feel good moving forward. What would feel respectful for you too? And so when we do this, we're turning it into a team dynamic. It goes from an I statement of this is what I need, but also I understand and honor your experience. How can we work together so we both get what we need? It's this very much team dynamic, and it makes it collaborative versus a very attacking me versus you, right? We're not getting into this kind of showdown energy. It's very collaborative, very cohesive. Now, this doesn't always work, right? Sometimes they still can't or won't respect your boundary. Sometimes people are just like, hard no, sis. And so, you can refer back to what we talked about earlier. Remember, it's okay to walk away. That's not being cruel. It's offering clarity for both of you. You know exactly what is okay with you and what's not. They know what's okay with them and what's not. And sometimes it means that both of you need to separate. And that's okay. And that can feel hard and that can feel tricky and sticky. And there may be things processed through that journey, but it's not an option that we should ignore if that's the right option for us, a right option for everybody involved. Because when we do that, we're choosing peace over performative people pleasing. And that, my friend, is chef's kiss, right? We're choosing peace over performative people pleasing. And it saves the relationship when there's space. Even if that relationship ends, it saves it from turning into something that's not authentic. All right. So let's recap all that, because that was a lot. I understand that was a lot. So recapping, you just want to understand boundaries don't stick when they're born from confusion. We want to be very clear. We want to be very grounded in our boundary establishment and setting and implementation. They do stick when we are grounded in our self-awareness, when we use I statements, and when we stay consistent. So feel that mantra, repeat, stay consistent. You're also not responsible for other people's emotions, only your own alignment. You take care of you, let them take care of them. Okay, you can support their journey, but your number one priority should be yourself. And when folks push back, lead with empathy, but hold the line. Your boundaries matter, so you can still be empathetic to other people without sacrificing your needs and desires. Okay, so hold the line, hold the boundary. That's important. You're keeping that integrity to yourself. Okay. Now, with all that being said, I want to hear from you. I would love to connect with you on Instagram. I'm on there at vicky.pittman.coach. I'll put my link and handle in the show notes for you, but I want to hear directly from you. Okay. I want to know what's one boundary you've set recently that you want to stick with no matter what. And I know we set boundaries every day. Some are small, some are large, some are with tricky people, but I want to hear from you. What is one boundary that you've recently set that you actually want to stick no matter what? Let's keep this conversation going. And if this episode hits home for you, I really want you to share it with another recovering people pleaser in your life who needs the reminder that her peace is also worth protecting, because we want to share the love. We want to share the resources. We want to share the care, right? And so do that, share with a friend, and don't forget to hit subscribe. I don't want you to miss next week's episode where we're diving into why you keep saying yes when you really want to say no, and actually how to stop that. So that'll be a lot of fun to dive into. And and until then, I want you guys to stay bold, stay boundaried, trust your inner magic, and always remember to love yourself like you mean it. Bye for now.